motherfucking what? You a goon or you faking real tough talk? Only goons get it shaking real tough talk. I hope your bite is like your bark with that tough talk. This is what New York been missing, real tough talk. You a goon or you faking real tough talk? Only goons get it shaking real tough talk. I hope your bite is like your bark with that tough talk. This is what New York been missing, real tough talk.
What's going on, people? Welcome back to the show that y'all all love, Real Tough Talk. I'm Stephen J. I'm here with Ghost, and we're here to welcome y'all back to the show. After about 3 weeks, a month off?
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
About 3 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
I've been fiending for football. I'm glad that we got football. But, you know, the week off or two was nice, but I'm glad we're back, finally.
Yeah, because after a while, you kind of have to find things to do, you know, in your off time. And sometimes we don't have nothing else. I mean, there was a Super Bowl. At least we had that. But other than that, there was pretty much nothing without this.
Well, we got some interesting things for you today, a lot of treats. We're going to have an interview with the current UFL champs. Starting quarterback Chuck from Carver Mob will be with us today. We also got another interview with the undefeated team in the regular season, the UFL this season. The starting quarterback, Violators, Fred, quarterback. So we got some treats. We also will hopefully you have an opportunity to see the unveiling of the UFL East All-Stars sometime today. I'm excited. Like, it's great. You'll see the West All-Star video next week. I'm just excited to have all this stuff back. Great to have football back. So, that being said, we're going to get into the first game, and we want to talk about Reckless and Rep City. Now, the way it goes is Longhorns dropped out of the league. So, because Longhorns dropped out of the league, that left a spot open in the West. So, Reckless is actually playing for a spot in the playoffs. They're battling House Gang. Now, the way it was changed was if Reckless win versus Rep City and House Gang lose versus Longhorns, Reckless gets in. But unfortunately, Longhorns dropped out because of whatever financial issues. So that gives House Gang the win. So it doesn't really matter what Reckless does this game because Reckless has 2 wins. House Gang now has 2 wins. So it doesn't matter what Reckless does because they meet House Gang next. But I would think that they want to play hard just to get the momentum going for the next game.
I mean, of course. I mean, they want to start off strong so that they can use that momentum to, you know, take it to the next game. And this is a just as important game as the next game. So they're taking this seriously and they want to come out with a win.
And on the other side, we have Rep City. Hood wouldn't be here. And unfortunately, we've seen this team be as inconsistent as they were last year. 1 week they look good, 1 week they look bad. Hood is not here, Hood is here. And this team is completely, I would say, inconsistent. But they have so much talent on this team. All they want to do is make the playoffs. Anything can happen with this team.
Yeah, but the thing about it is because a lot of them don't show up to their games, a lot of them are not consistent in playing, they look like they're all over the place on certain times. They look good when they're all here, but then when they don't show up, like half the team is here and then they just fall apart. You haven't seen Hood here pretty much throughout the season. You haven't seen one of their main receivers. Rel hasn't been here. D-Boy sometimes has been all over the place whether he's here or not. Tess has to stop playing as a receiver, which he's more effective as in throw, as a quarterback, and I feel like that takes away from the team. So they're all over the place. You don't know what Rep City you're going to get each week.
That being said, we're going to jump into the game. In the middle of the drive, Bug, who gets the ball first from Reckless, is going to throw a pass, but it's going to be bobbled and then intercepted by D-Boy, giving Rep City the ball back. Great way for D-Boy to make plays. When this guy's focused on his craft, he can definitely be a game breaker. Tess is going to get the ball now. He's getting the start because Hood is not here. And he's getting the start because Hood is not short run on 4 rush. Then he's going to scramble and throw a nice pass to D-Boy for the first down. Way to find him. Way to get the ball moving by Tess. Tess is going to end up scrambling and throw the ball in the end zone, and the pass is going to be dropped by Meach and turn over the ball. Meach got to make these plays. He's definitely a game changer, but he's not changing the game now, just turning it over.
And that was one of the better ways. That was one of the best ways you can ask for to go up in the game. That was definitely a touchdown. Yes, it was kind of high. He had to go for it, but I think that was a catch that Meach was capable of making. He did it, and it causes a turnover.
Bug is going to get the pass off the Prodigy at the 1 yard line on the next drive. Then Bug is going to follow up with a touchdown pass to Prodigy, giving him a 6-0 lead. Great pass by Bug, keeping it simple, finding his receiver, touchdown, 6-0.
And Bug starts out on his first drive, getting points up on the board. He's looking good in this drive. You know, some type of miscues, but he was able to get the job done in this drive. He didn't do anything wrong, and he was able to come out with 6 points.
Rep City's going to get the ball, but they're going to end up turning it over, giving it back to Reckless. After a few plays, Bug is going to throw a nice pass to Prodigy in the back of the end zone for the touchdown, putting them up 12-zip. Great throw by Bug. Hey, listen, if 1 is good, 2 is better. Comes back to Prodigy, touchdown.
And I feel like that's something that you should see more of. Prodigy has had a slow season, I would say, because of injury or whatever, but it doesn't, it's never, late is better than never. So he's putting up points now, helping Reckless get a win in this game. Hopefully they can keep it up.
After Rep City's not able to move the ball, they're going to end up punting, giving the ball back to this Reckless team. Bug is going to throw a Hail Mary right before the half and throw it to a guy who I think needs to be talked about more, Sean, with a great catch for the touchdown. This has to be a top 5 nominee.
Yeah.
Great catch here by Sean, take us into half, 18-0.
And that catch was right in traffic. I mean, there was like 3 guys in the middle right there, and he was still able to come down with the ball as if nobody else was there. That was a great catch by Sean. We need to see more of that because a lot of their guys have been dropping passes all season. So hopefully this will be the start of catching most of their passes moving forward.
Second half, Bug is going to get the ball. He's going to throw a pass to Bishop, which is going to be dropped. Bishop not being the player that they thought he was going to be, bringing him from Carver. He's just being a role player, not a game breaker like they thought he was going to be. Bug is going to throw the pass to Ronnie for the first down, but it's going to be incomplete, and they're going to end up turning the ball over, giving it back to this Rep City. Tess is going to throw a nice pass to D-Boy for the touchdown, putting him back in the game, 18-6. Great pass by Tess, finding D-Boy, getting him on the scoreboard.
And this is something that they needed because Reckless was starting to run away with the game. So finally they're able to put points up on the board. Hopefully this will be the start of them coming back in this game and actually competing.
Reckless is going to get the ball back. When they're able to move it, he's going to turn over the ball. Tess is going to end up getting sacked on his next possession by Chris. Chris is one of the best ball givers in the league. The kid that can time the full count perfectly is going to get a sack here. Great play by Chris. Tess is going to follow it up with a prayer in the end zone, and Gabby's going to come down with it for the touchdown. 18-12. Great play here by Tess, getting them right back into the game.
And I feel like even though that's kind of a prayer, like they was hoping that something good happens, finally something did happen to put them behind by 6 points. Luckily they got that off because it looked like they were going to lose this game. Definitely, they're still in it now.
1 yard for the first down on the next series. Bug is going to throw a nice pass to Ronnie, who gets to step on D-Boy for the big game. Rico's going to get a short run here in the middle for the touchdown, putting them even further ahead, 24-12. And this is what Bug can do. And guess what? He has not thrown an interception.
Well, he actually has thrown an interception.
Threw an interception to Meach on an extra point. Not really a killer, but I'm talking about on the drive.
Oh yeah, on the drive that kills the drive. No, he's been actually doing what he's supposed to and putting points up on the board. And this is an improvement, you know, as all of their players are stepping up and they're playing together. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come for them.
Tess is going to get the ball back. He's going to get sacked by Chris on the next series. Then Tess is going to avoid Chris and throw a pass to get him the first down. Tess is going to get blitzed and sacked by Rico. Definitely good pressure by them. And then Tess is going to throw a Hail Mary. It's going to be tipped and caught by Steve-O for the touchdown, 24-18. That might look like a top 5. I don't know what you think. What do you think? It's a top 5?
I mean, I feel like both of these plays are top 5.
Yeah.
These Hail Marys. I feel like all Tess is doing is just hoping that something good happens. And it's happened twice in a row. So who's to say they're not going to keep doing it because it's been working? Rather than doing something regular, they're just tossing the ball up and they're actually making points on me. They're putting points up on the board this way.
Bug is gonna get sacked on the next series, giving the ball. You know, Bug, listen, he's getting sacked, but he's not making mistakes. He's not throwing an interception. He takes the smart sack here. Then Bug's gonna throw a nice pass to Rico for the first down. That's gonna end up ending the game 24-18. Reckless with the big win. They get ready for House Gang. Great throw by Bug to close the game out by getting the first down. Great play.
And this is probably one of Bug's better games because he hasn't been killing drives with interceptions. Hopefully, the next game against House Gang, he can bring this momentum into that game because that'll definitely lead to a win, in my opinion. Because when Bug plays this way, he's a hard quarterback to stop, and you need to see more games like this from him.
Great game by Bug today. Like I said, 24-18. Reckless is going to get the win, and that's going to end this game. Definitely looking into the House Gang game. They got a momentum. All they got to do is beat House Gang, and they can even move up further in the 8th seed. So we're going to have to see what happens in the next game. Next game up, we're going to have Reckless versus House Gang. Now, if you remember what I said, House Gang coming off of a forfeit win to Longhorns, who dropped out the league, and Reckless coming off a big win to Rep City. Now, they're facing off for the last spot in the playoffs. Now, instead of being eliminated, the loser of this game has to play the #1 team in the West, which is the winner of Violet Carver. So basically, none of these teams want to have to face them in the first round. So they're going to battle enough and see who wins this game for the 8th seed. I mean, it doesn't get you the Browns, but at least you avoid going to the other side.
And I feel like that's something that's very important to play for because I feel like at this point, you have a better chance of playing and staying in the East than to going in the West and playing Carver or Violator. So I don't think that's anything that any of these teams want. So they're going to play hard to hold their position where they are in the East.
Well, we're going to jump in the game right now. Bug's going to start off with the ball. He's going to throw a nice pass to Prodigy, but it's going to be broken up by Eric with slight contact. Great play by Eric here, not getting involved in this play to break it up. On the next down, Bug is going to full rush, throw a nice pass for the long gain on the play. After that, Bug is going to get blitzed by AJ. The pass is going to be thrown away. There's going to be a turnover downs. Great pressure by House Gang to get this game started. Great pressure.
Pretty much this was a way to end the drive, put pressure on Bug, make him throw bad passes. This is how you get Bug out of his game. You keep pressure on him, you lock down his receivers, he has nowhere to go, he throws the ball away. This is a good way to start off the time, making him turn over the ball early.
Shaq is going to throw a pass to Cheat on the offense. House Gang has the ball. He's going to throw the ball to Cheat. It's going to be dropped, but it's going to be caught by JP for a few yards and getting the first down. JP with a great play here. Shaq is going to nicely avoid the blitz by Rico and throw a touchdown to a wide open Cheat in the end zone for the 7-0 House Gang lead. Shaq is not a mobile quarterback, but he knows how to move in the pocket. If you see him with this nice move to avoid the blitz by Rico and throw to a wide open Cheat in the end zone, 7-0, great play by Shaq.
One thing you notice about Shaq is, like you said, he's not mobile, but he knows where the defense is coming from. And he knows where to move, where to scramble, and where to roll out, and make his passes he can still make accurate passes out the pocket anyway. So this is an effective way to avoid the blitz. He's done it in the past, he's doing it here, and I feel like Reckless's rush has to be a little bit better if they're going to get Shaq.
The next drive, Reckless gets the ball, and during the nice drive, Bug's going to throw to Sean in the end zone, but it's going to have a great catch by Moses for the end zone. I think that's going to be a top 5 nominee. Great kickoff by Moses, giving the ball back to House Gang. Great play by Moses.
And I don't think Bug expected Moses with the wingspan that he has to go up and get the ball. He's able to smack it to himself and still able to come up with it. Even though you didn't expect Moses to make a play like that, when Moses is in the vicinity, you expect things like that.
Yeah.
Because Moses is known for that. Moses is a person that's tall and can still jump out the gym after that. So, not too much can pass Moses. You have to watch where he's at because things like this can happen.
House Gang is unable to do anything to capitalize on that turnover, and they're going to end up punting. Bug is going to get the ball back. He's going to end up getting sacked here by Chris. Then Bug is going to follow it with a nice pass to Rico in the middle for a nice gain. But Bug is going to throw deep to Rico, and it's going to be intercepted by Cheat, taking us into the half. 7-0, great intro by Cheat. Cheat's been stepping this game up the last 2 games. Great play, halftime. 7-0 House Gang.
And right now, it seems like Cheat has been the one leading the charge for House Gang. He's making plays on defense. He's catching passes on offense. I feel like he's really trying his best to put House Gang over that hill to get that playoff spot. And he's doing a good job, and they may need more of it in the second half.
Shaq is going to end up trying to get the ball. He's going to get the ball back. He's going to overthrow Moses in the middle. He's going to be intercepted here by Bo, giving Reckless back the game. Moses and Shaq was not on the same page. He overthrows Moses, and it's going to be picked off here by Bo.
And even Shaq knew it as soon as he threw the ball that it was a bad throw. He whipped right over Moses' head and gave Bo an easy shot to get the interception. Hopefully he doesn't throw any more passes like this, because that's not the way you win the game.
Bug is going to get the ball back, and he's going to end up getting sacked by Chris. Second sack of the game. Then Bug is going to get blitzed by AJ and throw the pass away again, turning the ball over. Great pressure once again by this House Gang defense. Shaq is going to end up getting blitzed, and this time he's going to get sacked by Rico. Great play by Reckless and sacking. Shaq is going to throw a nice pass to the middle and follow with a pass to Moses for a few yards. Shaq is going to shake Chris on the full rush and run for a few yards. Chris got to stop getting beat. Nobody should get beat by Shaq. He gets beat here, but House Gang is going to end up getting stopped. Shaq unable to get any more than what he already got.
Well, I feel, that's something that could have been even worse. If they would have got that sack, they would have probably got a little bit better field position. So sometimes you have to go at Shaq and not hesitate, because then Shaq is able to make those that one move and able to get that extra second. Luckily he didn't get a throw off, because that could have been ugly for Reckless.
Reckless is going to get the ball back, and Bug is going to throw to Sean in the end zone, but it's going to be intercepted here by Eric. Great interception by Eric. Eric made the All-Star team as a reserve. He's playing well this season. He's been playing well since, remember, his rookie year. He had a great breakout year. Roziers won a chip. Then he had a very, very terrible sophomore year. Very much slump. This year I would say is his junior year here. Playing really well. Yes, last year was his junior year. He played mediocre. But now Eric's a senior. And now he's playing great ball right here. Great interception. We've seen him make plays all year. Great play here by Eric.
And he's not one to get 7, 8 interceptions in a season. But he's one to lock down players in the middle. He's one to break up plays. And he's able to make big plays like this every now and then. So you expect a lot from Eric, and he gets the job done most of the time.
House Gang is unable to capitalize. They're going to end up punting on this next series. Bug is going to throw a nice pass to Prodigy in the middle and follow it up with a throw to Bishop in the middle, which is going to almost be intercepted by Moses. Bug is going to throw in the middle in the red zone to Rico to find Rico in the red zone. Great throw here by Bug. Now they move. Remember, it's 7-0. The game's coming down to the edge. They have to score. Bug is going to throw to Sean in the end zone, but it's going to be picked off by Chi. Chi's second pick of the game. Great pick off, giving House Gang back the ball. Shaq is going to end up throwing the ball to Choo Choo to run out the game, ending the game 7-0. Great game by House Gang. Chi winning the game with the interception. Great play here by House Gang. They come away with the win. They're the number 8 seed, and Reckless got to go to the West.
And this Chi deserves a game ball for this game, because I feel like on both sides of the game, he's been doing his job. He's getting some plays on the offense, and he's able to lock down their defense and make some big plays on defense, getting 2 interceptions on Bug. When Bug was trying his best not to throw any, he throws 2 here. He throws another one to Eric. So I don't know what happened in this game. They fell apart. Guys were not looking the same this game. I don't know if it was House Gang playing good or Reckless just throwing this game away. Either way, now they're the ones who have to take that extra spot in the West. Something that I'm pretty sure they didn't want.
House Gang got to be happy the way Shaq looked. I mean, listen, Shaq, they had Sarge. They went through different quarterbacks. They got Sarge. Sarge's situation didn't work out. And they had Shaq. And Shaq is a better quarterback than Sarge. He had a strong arm. He may be not as calm and as Sarge is, or he doesn't read the field as Sarge does, but he definitely has talent. And when Shaq wants to take focus on his craft, he can be one of the top quarterbacks in his league.
Yeah.
Remember, he won Offensive Player of the Year. He won MVP of the championship game. This man can play ball, and he's showing it here, helping House Gang get into the playoffs.
And when he locks down his decision making, when he's on with where he chooses to throw to, and he's accurate, he's one quarterback that's trouble. He can get down the field on one throw alone when he feels like it. So that's something that they didn't have with Sarge, because Sarge was not a downfield quarterback. Shaq is. He's a much stronger arm, and he can zip passes to receivers in pockets. So these are certain things that a lot of teams need to look out for in the playoffs, because when Shaq is on, he's on. And they need to watch out for that.
And on regular side, you can't make these turnovers and expect not to win. And expect not to lose. And you lost 7-0. You could not put one touchdown on a basically defense that's held by Bagney. This is not a good defense. House Gang is a shell of themselves defensively. They had the best defense last year, and they had the most humorous, laughable defense this year, but they found a way to come away. They came away against Raw. They just lost in overtime. I mean, not in overtime. They lost. Yeah, it was overtime they lost. So they just looked good when they want to play. You know, but 7 points, you can't put points against this defense. Something's wrong because their best player defensively is injured for the year, which is Swag. So now this team is actually have no linebackers. Cheese finally getting involved in the defensive scheme, but you only ever put up 7 points, and that's saying something going into in the playoffs when you play either Carver or Violators. What's going to happen then?
I mean, is it this game that they decide to wake up and say, you know what, we want to win? Why wait this long? Now you're playing for your life here, playing against one of these teams in the playoffs. Why wait till now to wake up? They still can. They may surprise because they still have the talent. They still have the ability to pick up games against mostly any team. They have the talent, but they just haven't been looking good. Buck has been struggling. Their team has been dropping. Their whole team has been out of whack. So I feel like something needs to be done. This must be the game that they wake up because otherwise they might as well just stay home.
That being said, we're going to have to wrap it up. Carver. Everything is Carver. House Gang come away with the win, 7-0. Great win. They're in the playoffs. We didn't expect them to be there. They made it. Playoff bound. House Gang. Next game up, we're going to have Gunners versus Street Fam. Street Fam is coming in trying to secure. They got a playoff spot. They're trying to move out up so they don't have to be the 7th seed. Now that Reckless is the number 8. And Gunners are just trying to make it better so they can avoid a top team in the playoffs right now. So we're going to have to see how this game goes. Vaughn is going to start off with the ball for the Gunners, and he's going to throw a short pass to Angel, who runs for a few extra yards. He's going to follow with a touchdown pass. Great play here by Vaughn, finding the receiver in the end zone for a touchdown, putting them up 6-0. Spaz is going to get the ball back. He's going to throw a nice pass to Shaw for a nice game. Then Spaz is going to get sacked by Vaughn. Wow, he gets sacked by Vaughn. The guy's not really known for his speed, but he's going to get sacked here. Street Fam's going to end up turning over the ball on downs. On 3rd down, Vaughn's going to have a nice pass to Caesar, who's going to get within the 5-yard line. And he's going to follow up with a pass to Angel in the end zone, but it's going to be dropped, and they're going to turn over the ball, leading us into halftime. Not looking good for Street Fam. First half, barely got guys, and they're struggling with this Gunners team.
Well, the main thing about Street Fam right now is I feel like Spaz is out of it. Watching the game, he was there was a lot of stuff that he wasn't happy about in the game. They were shorthanded. He wasn't in the game. You know, he was talking. He was actually going back and forth with guys on the other side of the team, or on the other team, I mean. But he didn't look good. He didn't look like he was focused on this game, and it's showing in their play right now.
And Vaughn is looking like he's doing what he has to do, trying not to turn over the ball, trying to keep the pace slow. And definitely it's been successful. They're up 6-0, so we're going to have to see how the second half goes. Spaz is going to throw a nice pass to the Preacher in between coverage, and then follow with a deep pass to Shaw, but it's going to be intercepted by Angel, giving the ball back to the Gunners. Bad throw by Spaz. Didn't have try. Angel was there. He's going to get picked off. Vaughn in the middle of the drive is going to throw a shovel pass to Lane, who's going to run across the field, avoid the tag, extend the ball for the touchdown. 12-0. Gunners got the nice lead. And then Spaz is going to get ejected for cursing. They didn't have any more players. Usually that wouldn't end the game, but because of Spaz's frustration, if you don't have enough players, the game does not end with an ejection, as far as I know. The game, you get penalized, but you can't be ejected out to end the game. But Street Fam is going to end up forfeiting the game just because they were frustrated. They looked like they didn't really want to play. They were short-handed. Giving Gunners a win, 12-0. What do you think happened that game?
I feel like Spaz was really out of it. That's all there is to it. Because, he's pretty much the main anchor of this team. When Spaz is not on, the team is not on. And we've seen it in previous games when they first started the season. When they played them Getters, he did not look good. They lost. When they played Woodlawn the first week, he couldn't put any points up. They lost 6-0. So when Spaz is not in the game, Street Farm can't go nowhere.
And then when he was on, he beat the Browns.
Yes. So my point is, just because you have an MVP candidate on your team and Sharp doesn't mean that you don't need Spaz throwing and being at the top of his game. Because without him, there is no Street Fan. They can't do anything. They can't compete with anybody. So when he was off in this game, it definitely led to a loss. And I'm not shocked about that at all.
That being said, Gunners is going to get the win, finish the season 3-4-3. They attempted to move up in the playoffs round. We're going to see what happens later on in the show. And you're going to have Street Fam here, getting a loss, definitely dropping to the number 7 seed, playing the loser of Carver versus Valdez, which is not a good matchup either way. We'll have to see what happens later on. Next game up, we're going to have Them Getters versus Reloaded. Them Getters coming in, a little short-handed, but they want to end the season strong, prepare for the playoffs. They don't have no Swiss, they don't have no Shannon in this game, but they just want to end the season so they can get the playoffs going. Reloaded is going to come and finally we see that Chad is back. Brian is back. Brian is finally getting healthy to play. He said he wasn't 100%, but they finally got him back, and this team needs him in order to make it in the playoffs.
And even though he's not 100%, I still feel like even on a small level, he can still play and make some big plays happen on his team. So I feel like just him being there is a morale boost for their team. And with that said, they still have other pieces on their team that can actually pull up and win this game. They may even try their best to take advantage, knowing that Them Getters a shorthand in this game.
That we said, we're going to jump into the game. Walker's going to get sacked here by Shaq. Walker's going to throw a short pass to Hollywood in the middle, but Getters going to end up getting stopped to turn the ball over. Bruce going to hand the ball up to Child, going to run it all the way to the 5-yard line and follow it up for the touchdown pass to Richard for the touchdown, 7-0, Reloaded with the lead. Walker's going to get blitzed by Shaq and throw an interception. Who throws an interception to Eric. Great blitz by Shaq. Everything we know is about Walker. If he makes these mistakes, Getters are not going nowhere in the playoffs. Great pressure here.
And this is why Shaq is making it into the All-Star game. This is what he's been doing game in and game out, putting pressure on the quarterback, covering up the middle. He does it here twice and is able to get a sack and cause an interception. When you have Shaq putting pressure on the quarterback like this, it's hard to get through on the defense, on Reloaded's defense. So he's one of the main anchors and he's showing why here.
Bruce is going to get the ball back. He's going to throw a short pass to Brian, finally getting Brian back into the equation. They missed him the last few games of the season. Then Bruce is going to throw a pass to number 85, Richard, for the touchdown. Richard's second touchdown of the day, giving him the 14-0 lead. Walker's going to get sacked again here, this time by Brett. Brett is able to get him down. Great play by Brett, showing why he was this top ball giver a few seasons ago. After Reloaded turns the ball over, Bruce is going to throw a nice pass deep to Speedy for the touchdown, giving him the 21-0 lead. Now it's becoming a laughable. Reloaded just unloading on Them Getters.
And so showing that Them Getters is short, there's always going to be one man open, it seems. And right there it was Speedy, and nobody was able to contend with him on that play. And it just looks like a routine deep pass, touchdown, and Reloaded seems like there's nothing that can stop him in this game.
Next drive, Walker's going to throw a pass up in the end zone. It's going to be intercepted by Live City, giving the ball back to Them Getters. Bruce is going to throw a pass deep to Shaq, find him in the corner for the touchdown, 28-0. That's pretty much going to end the game, 28-0. You're going to see, Brian is going to get the ball next drive, and after, it's going to throw an interception here if you see it to Rudio, but at that time, it was a laughable. It was pretty much over. Reloaded with the win, 28-0. Hollywood said he just wanted not to get the forfeit. He knew he was going to be short-handed. He's focused on the playoffs.
Yeah, and so he's not really bothered by this loss right now. He just wants to make sure that they came out and played. I'm pretty sure he wanted to try to do a little bit better, but knowing that they were short-handed and they were missing Megatron, Shannon, and Swiss, it was kind of a hard game to come up with a win on. So I feel like they're just ready to move on and make it to the play and play the game in the playoffs. But hopefully their team will be in full force in the playoffs because they can't afford to come out like this again.
And with Reloaded, it's all about getting your guys back. You got Brian back. You need him for this playoff run. And you're getting him more back into the equation with Chad Frost, who made the All-Star team this year. This team looked good. Shaq was my guy who was impressive today. He was able to not only rush the passer, he went out deep on offense and caught a touchdown. So, again, this team is preparing for the playoff run. Bruce looks like he's healthy. They look like they're ready to go, and they're ready to attack anybody who's standing in their way.
And I'm going to say this. Reloaded has been looking like a solid team, throughout the season. Certain games that they lost were close games. But they seem like a team that if they are contending and they are playing their game the way that they're supposed to, I feel like they can contend with any team. And with Brian out there, if he can look like the Brian that we're used to seeing, I feel like every team needs to watch out because this team is not a team you can sleep on.
That being said, we're going to wrap up this game. Reloaded with the big blowout win over them Gators, 28-0. Next game up, we're going to have Riot Squad versus YMM. Riot Squad coming in 2-6, YMM are 4-4. And let's talk about YMM. We've seen Nelson actually step his game up within the last few games after a slow start the YMM had.
Well, in the last 4 games that he's played, he actually had one of the best numbers for a quarterback. So to say that it's that's an improvement is an understatement. He's been looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the league in these 4 games.
And all season been doing, and Rico has been doing for him, was keeping it simple. Easy short routes, easy throws, and high percentage throws rather than taking shots downfield. That's unnecessary. And plus this YMM defense led by Rico and Jeremy has been dominant. They've been making plays, and I think Rico and Jeremy are the best 1-2 combo in the league defensively. And on the other side, we've seen Riot Squad be incredibly inconsistent. We've seen them one week look good like they did against the Browns with a tough defense, and then we've seen them other weeks just not being able to put everything together in order to come away with victories.
But I feel like their offense is what hurts them a little bit more because they can't compete if they don't put points on the board, and they've been struggling with that all season. There's certain games where they'll be shut out, where they can't score. You can't win games no matter how good your defense is doing. And I've watched their games. Their defense, they have a solid defense, and they get the job done for the most part. But if you cannot put points on the board, you lose games, and we've seen that happen with house games.
The pickup of Ak has definitely helped his defense step up a little bit because he's bringing that experience, he's bringing that toughness, and now he added the element of being able to play coverage that actually made his game step up to the next level. So we're going to jump into the game with Riot Squad and YMM. After the first 2 downs, on 3rd down, Rudy's going to get blitzed and sacked by Jesse. Great play by Jesse with the sack here, forcing Rudy, to not be comfortable in the pocket. The next down, Rudy's going to throw short to KC on the sideline for the 1st down, but he's going to drop the ball, then end up turning over the ball, giving it back to YMM.
And this is a slow start already. They haven't been able to, they can't start out and get anything done early. And this is an opportunity that's wasted because now you put YMM on the field and give him a chance to put points on the board.
Nelson's going to get the ball back. He's going to throw a pass to Jesse in the middle for the touchdown, giving him YMM the 6-0 lead. Great way to start it. No pressure. Just get the job done. And that's what Nelson does. 6-0.
And this is the best way to get him confident, the short routes, the small dump-off passes. This is what gives him the confidence to take better shots, find guys open. And when Nelson's able to play like this is a good look for the YMM team, and they can go far if they keep this up.
Rudy's going to get blitzed on the next possession, and he's going to end up throwing the ball away. We see Jesse, he's back, he's playing ball, and he's able to put pressure on him. That's what Jesse does. The next down, Rudy's going to throw deep to KC on the sideline, and this is going to be dropped, forcing them to have to punt. We see once again, this offense not helping them. Casey dropping 1 for the 1st down, and 1 would have possibly get him close to the 1st down, forcing them to punt. They got to help out Rudy. We talked a lot about Rudy. This offense has to help him out.
And when you have your offense struggling early and can't get anything done, it's demoralizing for your defense, and it makes their job harder, and it makes them less consistent. So you have to have your offense come together and make something happen. Otherwise, you're gonna have a long game.
Nelson is gonna throw a nice pass here to Jesse in the middle to get to the red zone. And then Nelson's gonna follow up with a pass to Jeremy in the back of the end zone, but it's gonna be almost intercepted by Pig. It would have been a turnover, but Gigi's called for offsides. That's gonna give them an extra play. And that's gonna be Nelson throwing a touchdown pass, coming back to Jeremy in the back of the end zone again for the touchdown, 13-0. And my problem with Riot is not only do they make a mistake, they give them the ball back and they allow the same touchdown pass in the back that Nelson just attempted. How can you not step it up and be able to stop the same play that they run on you twice?
And like I said, it seems like their defense is actually it's already demoralized, so now they're making mistakes. They're not reading the offense well. They're falling apart at the seams right now. They need to do something about it.
Riot's going to end up getting the ball back, but they're going to end up turning over the ball, giving it back to YMM. Nelson's going to throw a pass to Jesse in the middle in the red zone, and Nelson's going to end up following that up with a touchdown pass to Brandon, giving his team a bigger lead. Great play here. This YMM team is really on the roll right now.
And it looks like Nelson in this game can do no wrong. He's comfortable. He's making the pass that he needs to make. He's doing well out there, and they need to keep this up. This is a good look for him.
We're going to show the extra point, which we really don't show. Nelson's going to roll out. He's going to throw an underarm pass to Brandon, which is going to be tipped by Ouija, bobbled, but caught by Brandon for the extra point. That got to be a top 5 nominee. Great play here by Nelson, doing a Brett Favre underhand throw or the Aaron Rodgers underhand throw, and it still gets points up. Hey, they rolling.
Yeah, I mean, that just shows it wasn't necessarily the best throw from Nelson because that could have been picked off. But at the end of the day, that just shows how well Wyman was doing. That even when they made mistakes, they put points on the board.
Rudy's going to get the ball back. He's going to throw a pass away from the receiver who was wide open on the sideline. These are throws that Rudy haven't made all season. He's been incredibly inconsistent. But when he does make those, as you can see on this next play with the deep throw to Pig who had a step on Rico, it's going to be dropped by Pig, turning over the ball. Once again, this offense is not helping Rudy move the ball.
And this is a bad part when you have your quarterback struggling. When he's able to make a good throw and you can't make a catch like that, that just throws everything off. It throws everybody out of the game. And this looks ugly for Riot Squad right now.
YMM's going to get the ball back, and Brown is going to have a nice run to get them near the end zone. And Nelson's going to throw to a wide open Jeremy on the end zone, but it's going to be a miscommunication, which is going to cause an incomplete pass. And this is what we see YMM usually break down, because now Nelson's going to roll out from the rush and throw a pass short to Brandon, but it's going to be incomplete and it's going to be a turnover on downs. Let's see what happens. This is what happens with this team. They start making certain mental mistakes, and they do it here. Rudy's going to throw short to G and then follow up with a pass to Pig in the middle for the first down. Rudy's going to get blitzed by Jesse. He's going to roll out and throw an interceptor to Josh, ending the game 20-0. YMM with the win. Rudy gets blitzed by Jesse and throws an interception to Josh. Jesse is the main cop of this defense, because once you have Rico, who teams are paying attention to now, he's been dominating all year, definitely a defensive player of the year candidate. Now you got Jesse back healthy. He's been here. Now he's playing what he does. And them two at linebackers are demoralizing to this offense that they're playing against.
And when you have Jesse or Kaka coming in, rushing in, putting pressure on the quarterback, and you have the secondary with Rico and Jeremy, and you have Brown out there with Josh and Roger when he's here and healthy, that's a problem for any team. So these are things that YMM need to keep consistent, because it looks good. Jesse's able to pressure the quarterback when they need him to, and it causes mistakes that YMM can capitalize on. This is the YMM defense that we need to see in every game.
Big win by YMM. Now you're going to see Riot Squad, they end the season 2-7. Definitely not what they expected. They expected to be better. A lot of games they gave up. A lot of games they were just overmatched. And this team goes into the playoffs hoping that they can change it around and get the momentum coming in the playoffs. And YMM, with another big win, they got a doubleheader. We're going to see what happens the next game.